Everybody's here, let the good vibes show. Lead united, marching proud and strong. Dancing till the morning, all night long. Oh, we're marching on together, yeah. Good vibes rising, feel it everywhere. Last prediction, Stacy, Brittany, Jess, Banner, Army, crew, we're the best. Oh yeah. Day buzz, we're dancing in line. From previews to reviews, it's party time. Fastest finger first, let the quiz begin. Cheering for leads, we always win. Mental health, we're here for you. Laughs and smiles will pull you through. Light it up, let the music play. Spanner Army dancing all the way.
Welcome to Jess White Talks Football. This is a crime night, 100% away from football. 2 weeks of stress-free. Please leave football for tonight. We can go again tomorrow with the football peeps. We've had enough fun day today. Nice just to get into a bit of a nice stream. But before I get into it, let's go to the panel. How are we doing, Stacey, love?
Doing good. Last one for the night.
Indeed. Cruzy, how are we doing, love?
Glad this is on. It's a little football, like you said. Won't go there. Yeah, all good. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, it should be a good one. We missed you last week, Cruz.
I know, we're asleep one. It was a long. It was a long weekend though, wasn't it? Friday, Saturday.
Put that banger bus out, hadn't you, for weekend? Do you know what I'm saying?
You had to go to Sheffield.
I'm surprised it got there in one piece. How many pieces did you have?
I'm surprised it got there and back in one piece. Not going to knock him, he's doing all right. You know what I mean? Might take him on Tuesday for a funeral. That's the Doncaster.
The dog's fucking coughing over us somewhere.
Yeah, that's Doncaster though.
Big up now. Indeed, it is pinned to the top of the chart, like just not today, not this evening. We'll go again tomorrow with football.
Hi,
big up, guys.
This is football free.
Thank you.
Unless this part starts playing their balls, then you know what I'm saying.
First one he caught though on the jury, that's spelt wrong.
Isn't it?
Silence in court. So
look, Jill said this is not spelling court, okay?
No, you've got to be spelling it right. Big up, Kevin. Big up, Drew. Angels. Before we get into it, does anybody actually know this case in the chat?
Yes.
In chat. I thought she meant you. I thought she meant me as well.
We're all familiar with it. Renee's familiar with it. But it'd be interesting to see if anybody in chat is actually familiar with this one.
It's an interesting one for sure.
It is because it divides opinions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big up to everybody locked in here. Make sure we're smashing a like up on both channels, yeah? Bomber. That is true. Lock your doors up, pull up a chair, and let's go with the crime. I like that.
I never do. My kids have a coffee.
Coca-Cola.
I have nothing at the moment. Let's put some cans in the fridge.
Orange juice.
What the fuck just fell? Oh,
Hang on, I'm supplied.
He has the
I've
one.
got cans in the fridge.
Oh, not just that. Got me biscuits as well.
A big box of biscuits. You know, we having a picnic, ladies, or what?
nice.
Oh, the hazelnut ones. Noodles.
What kind of biscuits are they, Suze?
Hang on, better to show you that.
Hazelnut.
Oh, those look nice. Damn you.
Yeah.
You
nice.
enjoy those. Have one for me, please.
I have to hide them because everybody eats them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that.
Why does she have to
actually,
come with that?
I've got
She's
snacks.
fucking hell, help me.
Hey, I've got some water.
Good snackies as well.
Why do I
Mine
got
not-
food?
I haven't really eaten for the last couple of days.
Delicious little biscuits, and I remembered I have German biscuits.
Yeah, ain't it? Alison, yeah, look at that.
I'm putting myself to bomb so nobody has to see my face. Bomber. Yes, that's good. And Joe's comments, I did. Yes.
Yes, but you're talking about it unless I'm reading it again.
Now I'll let you read it, then I can
I
dig
knew
into
you
it.
were going to say that.
You've got a better voice than me. I go so fast and I upset people. Me. We'll just stop after every slide and we'll discuss it.
All right. As it's you. So,
Yeah, but you've got a better presenting voice than me. I get nervous. You know what it's like.
I don't get nervous neither. But anywho,
You fuck.
Do you fuck?
actually, when it
Oh,
comes
Jules,
to
don't
crime
start tonight with stuff like that. Just don't.
oh, no, Joe.
We're going to out with
Right.
it. Jules. Ryan, Jules, behave. For fuck's
Right, let's
sake.
now stop explaining. We'll be on.
Oh, God.
Help me.
And I do have Barca on my phone. Anywho, looks swiftly like so. Understanding Michael Stone, who has been convicted of killing Jess.
Lin and Megan Russell.
There we go. Lin and Megan Russell.
Attempted murder on the other daughter because one did survive the attack.
The daughter survived.
Rosie.
He killed. Do you know what? The evil bastard as well killed the dog.
Yeah, was
Yes.
it Rosie that survived? Rosie.
What's the name? Let's have a look.
Well,
It'll be on there
I'll go to
anyway.
the first slide. So,
you're-
introduction.
Right now. I don't know how old he is in that picture, by the way, but he looks old.
Quite young
Dead,
in that
doesn't
one.
he?
It does.
Yeah. There's nothing to him, is there, neither?
That's a
There's-
passport photo.
You
That.
wouldn't believe him, would you? Like looking at him.
No.
Fucking hell. You just look at him and you think he looks a smackhead, yeah. But does he look that brutal that he could whack him over the head with an hammer and kill him?
No.
I don't know, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
All right, okay. So I was reading Joe's comment, that one. So Michael Stone, born Michael John Goodban on the 7th of June 1960, was convicted of the 1996 murders of Lin and Megan Russell and
Josie.
attempted murder of Josie Russell. He was sentenced to 3 life sentences with a tariff of 25 years for the Russell killings. Stone maintains his innocence and continues to contest his conviction. His legal team argues that the serial killer, Levi Bellfield, could possibly be the true perpetrator of the attack. In February 2022, Stone's solicitor said that Bellfield had confessed to the murder of both Lin and Megan, although the truthfulness of the confession remained in doubt, and Bellfield later claimed he had confessed for a cash payment. In July 23, the Criminal Case Review Commission declined to refer Stone's case to the Court of Appeal, saying that it had identified no credible new evidence or information. Sorry, this decision was under review as of October 23.
Wait there, Stacey, right? So this decision is still under review to this day now.
Mhm.
So how much evidence is there in there that they've got to go through? And anyway, if there were no to review that had come out and said,
Yes.
case closed again. Just saying, by the way. Carry on.
Why is
Stacey.
leaving it so long, though? I mean, I don't understand that.
What we in? 2026 now? What we in? 2025?
25.
2025.
We're going on 2
DNA
years
and
now.
everything.
They still haven't managed to review that after 20 years, like 2 years. So how much evidence is this going on in there? Because there must be somewhere for them to be still under that decision under review.
It's not over murder, look. Police suspect Stone may be responsible for an unsolved murder.
I'll wait for you, stop chatting.
Oh, sorry.
I've got to get that out of it. Police suspect Stone may be responsible for an unsolved murder that occurred in Maidstone in 1976. And prior to the Russell murders, he spent time in prison for violent assaults and armed robbery.
Right, stop there, Steve. So his background's assaulting and robbery because he's a smackhead. He is a junkie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you can suspect somebody, Stacey, but they never proved him of that 1974 case. So that's epidemic for me because he never got proved of it. You know, whether he did or didn't do it, they still haven't pinned that on him to this day. See, this is, Ryan, where you have to come in and listen to both arguments before you convict him.
Pass judgment.
Ryan, so listen, what we're going to say is listen to the case.
Listen to all of it first.
At the end, we're going to get everyone's opinion at the end. And that way, you can listen to it, you can see what we bring forward, and then we'll get your views at the end.
Agreed.
And I'll give you a win. So, next slide. So, early life. Stone was born as Michael John Goodban, in the Royal Tunbridge Wells, Kent, on the 6th of June 1960, one of 5 children. Although the name of his father was registered and therefore given on his birth certificate as Ivor Goodban, there was uncertainty over the true identity of his father, and Stone regarded a different partner of his mother, Peter Stone, as having been his father. Both men denied that he was their son. Stone had a turbulent childhood, suffering domestic violence in his family home before he was placed in a care home, where he was abused. As a boy, he had also been beaten with a hammer.
Stop there.
And witnessing.
Stop there the second, Stace. Right, so as a boy, he would beat him with a hammer. Now, did he have an obsession with hammers after that then? Just saying, just pulling that out. If he would attacked when he was so young with a hammer.
But then would he...
I'm just going to delete that comment, Jess, if you want to remove it.
For fuck's sake, can we behave today, please? I'm just saying though, right? Looking at it, if that happened to him as a boy, is that why he's got such an obsession with hammers?
I'm thinking that just wasn't right when I read it.
Carry on.
Yeah,
Okay.
possibly.
And witnessed his mother's former partner attack another man with a meat cleaver in his home. He was known to be prone to uncontrolled outbursts and aggressive mood swings. From the age of 9, he began using drugs and committing crimes.
Right, stop there. So look at that, right? Look at his background, where he's come from those days. Let's be honest, it's not a great start, is it?
No, it's not a great start, is it?
It's not a great start in life, is it?
That's a horrible start. You have to feel bad for him for that.
You know, witnessing all that, then he cares home, and then he's been abused, domestic violence, and he's seen this happen at home. Does he think this is the norm to behave like that, though?
Not just that, and the fact that neither of these men, all the men in his life, denied that he was their son. Like, that will mess you up too. You know, when people even say that you're their kid. I don't know. It's just sad.
God, sounds like my fucking mother.
Can I continue?
Yeah, go upstairs.
Stone's police record dates back to 1972 at the age of 12 and continued into adulthood. On leaving the care system, Stone began using heroin and soon developed a £1,500 a week heroin addiction. He served 3 prison sentences in the 1980s and in the 1990s for robbery, burglary, grievous bodily harm, and assault occasioning actual bodily harm. He was known to carry weapons, including knives and guns, and would also attack victims with ammonia squirted from a Jif lemon bottle. He became a figure in the criminal underworld of the Medway towns of Kent.
Wow.
From the age of 12, I mean. But it's been petty stuff. I know he don't seem petty stuff, but like robbery.
Compared to what he's been done for, that is petty.
You know, robbery, that you get that. He's got, I mean, a £1,500 a week heroin habit. That's a lot of fucking money. Come on. Back then as well, in 80s.
What's it back then? Can you imagine how much I mean now?
Could you,
exactly. Look, if you look what he's actually done when he's done the robberies and stuff and what's actually used, he's never used a hammer.
Exactly, knives and guns. And ammonia squirted in a Jif bottle. Well, that doesn't say about carrying hammers, does it? Knives and stuff, what you'd expect. GBH or ABH, which could be anything. That could be people in pub coming out and having a punch-up like they might have done in the 70s and 80s. He's violent, but not to the extent of what he's done or what he's been convicted of doing. You know what I'm saying?
Life continues.
Right?
Right. I just want to say this because I have to say it now, because although it's had childhood trauma and domestic violence, does it make somebody a serial killer? My son and my daughter witnessed domestic violence on me. And the abuse. And let me tell you now, my kids are like that.
I'm not a serial killer. I'm not violent.
I tend to don't agree with the fact that when somebody said about childhood, it leads them to a killer. Because my kids are that kind, and I went through hell with my
No, I'm not.
violence.
No, she's right there. She's right. My brother don't. I blocked my childhood, memory-wise, due to the domestic violence my mum went through, and it hasn't turned me into a serial killer.
Well, it ain't me. I've seen a lot of shit growing up. It be like that, is it?
I mean, I must admit though, John,
and he was a drug addict, and he was a drug addict.
He was snackhead. I found
he was snackhead because I found his needles, and I told him,
Mum, really pushed. Yeah, they're known for robbing and all that when they're desperate, right? But I mean, I have known cases where they have robbed dog biddies and that, and they have been murdered and stuff. But I mean, £1,500 a week drug habit, that is massive, and that's in the 70s. We're talking though. Imagine how much that's going to be now.
10 grand.
Large screen this.
That's what I'm saying. That's a massive amount of drugs to be fucking taking.
I've gone full screen.
That's kind of a dumb question for you. So when he was a kid, did you say that he got hit with a hammer?
Yes.
No, he witnessed his mum.
Okay. The only reason I ask was because, they're finding some links in some of these serial killers with a really severe head injury as a child.
Yeah.
So I always wonder, like, okay, I just wanted to make sure, but that's another thing, like the Night Stalker in Los Angeles, like he nearly died. He had his like a horrible skull fracture when he was a kid, and like a lot of them had like a serious head injury as a child. So they think that that's obviously not all of it, because a lot of people have head trauma, but they think that it may be something like that piles on. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all of these things that can make somebody off.
I agree. I agree with that, well, Jules.
I agree with that. Yeah, but I mean, domestic violence and your kids witness it is really hard, and it does scar kids. I mean, I know it scarred John as well, because I will put my hands up and say, my kids watched happen to me. John became that kind of a person that tried doing it with his now wife. You know what I mean? But I made sure that if he ever raised his hand in front of me to his girlfriend, which was back then, I made sure I never laid an hand on her. In fact, I even threw him out of my own house because he attacked her. And I literally stood top step in my house. I said, if you don't get out of my house now, I'm going to push you down the stairs and kick you out the front door. I went, what, you picking her over blood? I went, hang on, my grandson's my blood. And if you're abusing his mum, it's not happening. And since I did that with him, he's not done it since. Although he's got the temper to do it.
I've
got to tell John. I've told him straight, if you raise your hand to her again, I'll touch it again, and I swear down, I'll fucking batter you. But, so it can have an effect on a kid, especially at such a young age. So I'm not saying that it don't make them into a killer, but does it make them all into killers?
No, because I'd be a killer right now.
And
the amount of people that have pissed me off. The amount of people that have pissed me off are still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Anywho.
Don't get me thinking. Why is he doing this thing on me next?
Right. Storm was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment in 1981 for attacking a man with a hammer during a robbery. He then received a 4.5-year sentence for stabbing a friend while he slept in 1983. An attack that penetrated the friend's lung and nearly killed him. And he tried to wound a police officer in the eye after this arrest. When he was sentenced for this crime, the sentencing judge remarked that Stone's violent nature could lead him to kill someone in the future. He was then sentenced to 10 years imprisonment for 2 armed robberies in Maidstone and Brighton, respectively, during the same week in 1986. The first robbery was at Maidstone Hazlitt Theatre, and the second was at Leeds Permanent Building Society Branch in Brighton, where he stole £577. Throughout his criminal career, Stone would steal from garden sheds, taking anything he could sell, and would mug people at cash dispensaries, in part to fund his heroin addiction. In prison, he attacked various police officers.
Right, stop there. So when he's hit him on hammer, he's always robbed something from him. But he never robbed anything off of them. They were never robbed of anything, Lin and Megan. Well, a mum, a purse was still there.
Yeah.
He needs to tap people, but he's got money for it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not violent, because he is clearly by this.
Oh, yeah, he's clearly violent.
But when he did that was totally different, because anyway, we'll get into that further on. But there's no way he's used a hammer to get stuff for his addiction fairs, but he never robbed out off them. So that's why it's strange.
And there's still no mention of him using a hammer.
Up at the top there goes in 1981 for attacking a man with a hammer during a robbery, but it was a robbery. They never robbed them of all. Anyway, go on, Stacey, carry on.
Do you think maybe he panicked? Like,
no, because where it was Rennie, there were nobody there. It was like in middle of country where they were walking. There's some pictures of it coming up. It were nowhere. They weren't where people are. It weren't like in a town centre or something. You know, it was rural. Like for him to even have found them, it's weird. Rennie, it's well out in sticks. Like it's not like just round corner from me. Like it's like there's no houses there. There's no nothing. It's just pure fields.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
Even doing that in the first place. It's not where you'd look to rob somebody, though, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I hear you.
Stone was known to be violent towards his partners. His former girlfriend, Rachel Marcroft, recounted that he had once beaten her so badly that she went to the police, who took photos of her injuries as evidence, although charges were later dropped as she refused to give evidence against him. She had received 2 black eyes, a swollen mouth, and heavy bruising from where he had held her down, injuries which police later said bore a striking resemblance to those on the bodies of the Russells, whom he was later convicted of murdering. Marcroft said that the way that Russells were tied up was similar to how she was tied up by Stone. She said that whenever he was violent towards her, Stone would not afterwards remember what he had done.
Don't make him a killer, though. And how can you say that? No. Right, Busy's here. It bore a striking resemblance of those to those on bodies. And loads of people could tie people up like that, Stacey Love. I'm sure you tie a knot different to I tie a knot to our Rennie ties a knot to our Cruzy ties a knot. It's everybody. You can't just say that. I think that's a bit bullshit, that police. I'm sorry. You can't do that. No 2 persons same. Surely.
No,
if we all put on it now and put a tie thing on, we'd all tie it different. Surely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's a bit of a piss. All that by Busy saying that.
I can do Tony's tie. Tony can do his own tie. Stacey does a tie. And I do it different to Stacey because she does it different to me.
How can you then compare that and say, well, actually,
you can't compare.
Design different to one of his ex-girlfriends that he bet up? That's fucking piss poor. Go on, Stacey. Carry on. That's piss poor.
Yeah. Stone was released from prison in 1993. Prior to the murders, he had received support for his drug addiction and mental health problems and was under the supervision of the National Probation Service. He had a history of severe mental illness. Stone had been sectioned to a mental hospital in Hull in 1994 and was diagnosed with personality disorder and paranoid psychosis. His conditions were controlled by regular injections of medication, but his treatment was affected by his overuse of heroin. The hospital at which he was detained had to pass him into the care of another health authority as they found him too dangerous. It was then that he was passed into the care of West Kent Health Authority.
Because nobody wanted to deal with him, Stacey. They just passed him on, even though they knew he had all these psychosis and stuff. That's crazy. And none of them could deal with that. Nobody wanted to help his mental health, but they all diagnosed it. But none of them could treat him. None of them could deal with him. So it's like, oh, well, we'll pass him on to we'll pass him on to this, and then they pass him on to that. That's crazy. Come on, that's a national healthcare. It's poor.
Happens in the States too, really bad. If somebody's mentally ill, they just we don't have enough places to deal with people, so they just get moved through.
Yeah. Nobody to sit there and go, right, what's your problems? Where does it start from? Nobody to listen to him, nobody to talk to. Exactly. To pass around from pillar to post. It's like nowadays, it's the same thing with doctors. We'll send you. But trust me, to sit down and look after your proper health. We don't have that anywhere in this country anymore. It's gone to pot.
No, same here.
It's shit. But back then,
prisons though,
but back then, you were either tough or you didn't survive because people didn't believe anything you said. Look, that's what on my head. You'll be all right. Just go away. That's what it used to be like. In fact, my mum did that and she got locked up for 6 months. It was fucking great. Yes. Sorry. I'm just sad.
No.
Police suspect Stone of have killed Francois Gigot, who was found stabbed to death in a park in Maidstone in 1976. Gigot was a 65-year-old Guernsey man who was a former special constable. Ooh. The motive for the murder appeared to be robbery, since Gigot always carried around a large amount of cash, yet he only had £3 on him when his body was discovered. He died from multiple stab wounds to the stomach and of head injuries inflicted by kicking repeatedly. His body was discovered near Maidstone East Railway Station, very close to Stone family home at the time, and very close to the probation hostel Stone was staying in. Stone allegedly later told a psychiatrist that he was responsible for the robbery and murder of Gigot. Stone was a suspect and was questioned about the crime in the aftermath, and he was questioned about the murder immediately before being charged with the Russell killings in 1997. At the time of Gigot's murder, police announced that they wanted to speak to 4 youths who they thought could have seen Gigot or his murderer. Stone was 16 at the time and a prolific offender. Stone has been known to attack policemen.
Yeah.
Shall I continue?
I'm just thinking there, those days, right? Yeah, all right, this is all circumstantial, those days. They never proved me.
Yeah.
You might have lived that corner from, there might have been 4 youths. It might have stopped you, but you also can't prove that he did do that. So that, you know, it's conjecture, innit? And if you look at this like, oh, so it took you how long? And then you thought it were him. I think that's just a bit shit. You couldn't prove that, though, to be fair. They've never proved it. Anyway, yeah, Stace, carry on.
In 1983, he stabbed a man and then attacked and almost blinded an officer, for which he received a 4.5-year sentence. Stone's sister, Barbara, who has always protested her brother's innocence of the Russell murders, said in 1998 that she believed he indeed killed Gigot, stating, "I don't think he killed Lin and Megan Russell, but I do think he did that murder when he was younger." Explaining, she commented, "When I was about 14, Mick came to me with a knife in a sheath. He said I was to hide it for him, and I buried it. At the time I was a kid, I did what my big brother told me. Years later, he said he knew something about the murder. I knew he was up to no good. Killing was his style. It was done by 2 or more people, and Mick never acted alone. It would have been done to get money, and again, that's something he'd have done." Stone is known to have accidentally killed his partner by injecting him with too much heroin, causing an overdose. Police questioned him about the death of a friend who fell under the London Tube train as he stood next to Stone. Stone later boasted of pushing the man underneath the train.
But he could be just boasting because he was smacked off his head, Stace. You know what it's like when you're on heroin and that. You could be just saying all this stuff. But you see, right, his sister, right, and I will say this, she's always been very consistent, Stace. She's adamant that he didn't do the Lin and Megan Russell murders. But she has, now that's been very open, but she says, yeah, 1976, I do believe he did do it. He were with youths, he were on heroin. They all attacked him. They robbed him for his money. Now, I do believe that, Stace. I do believe he did this one, right? And they never proved it, but I do believe it.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why they got robbed and stuff. He never took anything from Lin and Megan Russell. So if you had a smackhead, you want and you fixed it. But he never got anything from them. The purse was still there. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Crazy. Go on, Stace, carry on.
Next slide.
Russell murders. In the rolling hills in midsummer, a bright summer day in July, Lin Russell, 45, and her 2 daughters, Megan, 6, Josie, 9, and the family dog, Lucy, walking down Cherry Garden Lane near Chillenden, Kent, just after 4 p.m. The girls had been to a swimming gala. The smell of chlorine, wet towels in bags, a walk they had done many times before. A man with a hammer stepped out of a car, asking for money. At her mother's urging, Josie ran for help, but was overpowered. The family was forced into a copse, where they were tied up with ripped towels and shoelaces. The man beat Lin and Megan to death. Lucy the dog was also killed. Miraculously, Josie survived, though with severe brain injuries. Multiple witnesses saw a beige car in the area, driven by a white man. At the scene, investigators found a bloody fingerprint on the lunchbox and a black, knotted bootlace. Josie told the police the perpetrator was a white man in his 20s, about the same height as her father, who is 5'11", with spiky blonde or brown hair.
Right, that bloody finger mark wasn't Michael Stone's, though, Stacey.
No,
that wasn't his fingerprint on that lunchbox, because they did the tests and it never came back to being his fingerprint. And no disrespect to the little lass, right? She's just been on Ed with her hammer cruising. So when she's woke up, You know what I'm saying? Like that could not have, she might have given a wrong description. She was 9 at entertaining it with an hammer.
She had bad memory loss as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mind plays tricks, but that fingerprint was not Michael Stone's on that lunchbox. It wasn't.
So that description of a man could have been a man she's seen before the actual.
The thing is,
yeah,
I'm getting confused now.
Rather than being the perpetrator, it could be someone that she's seen.
97. It happened.
Like, you know, that she's seen prior to get a mum picking her up, for example.
The thing is, right, is you put on there that you say a man with a hammer stepped out of the car asking for money at her mother's urging Josie Run. I don't recall that bit. I don't. As far as I'm aware of that, there was walking down it.
And he attacked him from behind. That's what I thought.
And he attacked him from behind. He went up behind him, attacked him from behind. That's why I'm a bit. I don't know about that, but
you'll see why this is convenient with this brown and blonde hair. Look, with spiky blonde or brown hair, so she won't even show what hair. Yeah,
that proves that her statement's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he said that it's someone she's seen before.
And about the same height as the dad. It could have been taller than that. It could have been smaller than that. Let's face it.
Yeah,
and then
I believe it's someone that she's seen before the attack.
Yeah,
not what she's describing is not the perpetrator. It's describing someone she's seen beforehand, and that's probably the only memory she's got because, like it says, she's got severe brain injuries.
Yeah, she still has it. She's
got severe. So no one knows if it's someone she's calling from something else or it's the perpetrator. We can't say definitely it's the perpetrator she's seen.
True.
Yeah, it's not a cohesive ID.
I mean, that's the girl we're talking about with Atal. That's the family. That's the dog that he killed.
Oh.
That's still from.
I do not know how she survived.
No,
she's a lucky girl.
Very lucky.
Very lucky.
It says the fight with him, didn't there? The fight, it might have been far.
It might have been Dad, yeah.
That's the first thing to do, though, when it comes to a family killing of this, anything really, the first person, the suspect, is always the spouse. Always. That's the first suspect they go for is the spouse. Which, because I'm not highly familiar, but the documentary I watched, even he said he knew when they were speaking to him, he knew what their questions were going to be because he knew in a case like this, they always suspect the spouse. So he knew straight away that he was going to be considered a suspect straight away.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. It's amazingly, I don't know if you mentioned this, though, how close they were to the actual home.
Yeah, they weren't far.
When he realised they were missing. Yeah, when he realised they were missing, because the documentary I watched, he said that he phoned one of the friends, because the kids were friends and they went swimming together. They said, no, she didn't. They walked. And when he went looking for her, he actually states where they were found, he had driven past not long before looking for them. So even that in itself is how close they were.
Yeah, you had to get out the car to go into where they were to find them.
Yeah, they were hidden, but he had driven past where the bodies were found.
Yeah, just down the lane a little bit, wasn't it, to the side where the family. So you wouldn't have seen it as a motorist driving past. No,
you wouldn't have seen it.
No.
Unless you're walking that path.
Yeah.
In
July 1997, police arrested 37-year-old Michael Stone for the crimes after tip-offs resulting from reconstruction on the Crime Watch television programme. A psychiatrist called to report his suspicions of Stone, and another 2 nursing staff called in, also naming Stone. These medical workers who had worked for Stone before the attacks reported that on 4th of July, 5 days before the murders, Stone was becoming increasingly enraged and had aggressively threatened to kill people and their families. The psychiatrist further recalled that Stone had threatened to his probation officer with a hammer. The psychiatrist also told police that the threats were so aggressive that they made him fear for his own safety and for the safety of other employees, and that the fantasies related by Stone seemed to tally with the nature of the attacks on the Russells.
Yeah, seemed to tally. One, why were he out? And 2, right? Just because I say, how many people said it as a figure of speech? I could kill you. Don't mean you go do it.
Yeah, deal with me.
Don't mean you've done it. We've all done
Daily,
it.
it's anything for me.
Kill you. We've all done
I'm
it.
gonna
Come on,
kill
everyone
dogs.
said it past. Don't mean we've gone and done it, Stace. And if that were the case and they were that frightened, why didn't they resection him then?
Why? Yeah, exactly.
Come on, they're not just as culpable as well. If he did do it, none of them motherfucking
Exactly, they should be done as well.
And then they wait a year and go, oh, actually, we've had this conversation. I thought as all this, you had private confidentiality anyway, patient confidentiality. I thought that as doctors. I thought the only reason they could get it is if they get a warrant or die. And then they see a medical record. So they've already broke his fucking patient confidentiality anyway. If it's not true.
They've broken the laws.
Exactly. And if they all thought this, why didn't none of them say out to police before the Crime Watch went out then?
Yeah.
Come on. Nobody had a sniffer with what? This was a year later, and then they all ringing up saying, well, actually, you know, we've had this bloke in today and he said he was going to kill somebody. How many more of us have said it? Saying it doesn't mean you've done it. Fucking hell.
Exactly. I mean, also, he said aggressively threatened to kill people. Oh, no, I've lost it. I know, aggressive would help. About threatening his police officer with the hammer. How the fuck did you get the hammer from?
Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you go to police? Threats to kill?
Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
No.
When you've got a psycho coming towards you with a fucking hammer and you're going, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, I've got this. Yeah, nah, you're funny, police. I'm sorry.
No, you wanted to deal with him. That's why. Lazy.
Yeah.
Again, lazy fucking NHS don't want to deal with the problem. Pass the fucking problem on.
Yep,
that is full stop with mental health. It is fact. Nobody wants to deal with you. It's so much of a fucking problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
You're a problem.
Yeah, basically. Stone had told psychiatric nurse that he dreamed about torturing people and that he fantasized about killing children and running about in woods. He further added that he felt like killing children while walking in woods and that when he passed by children, he felt like killing them. And also claimed to have attacked people with hammers. He had also said that he was angry at the world and was going to do something bad. Stone had also apparently begged to be admitted as an inpatient to a psychiatric unit at the time, but he was refused as he was seen as too dangerous. In his outbursts,
how can you be too dangerous? Don't stay right. But it was refused as he was seen too dangerous, right? And you've refused somebody that's come to you and said that you can't. How can you refuse somebody that's come to you and saying it to you?
Exactly.
Why aren't these people being done? Why aren't these people being done?
They knew he was dangerous. They should have took what he was saying. Look, I'm dangerous. I'm telling you I'm dangerous. You know I'm dangerous because according to what you're reading there, to me, I was like, yeah, we know you're dangerous. It's here in black and white, but yeah, you're now telling us you're dangerous. We're going to do fuck all about it. Dog, fuck off.
It could have gone in Broadmoor at the time, Stacey, if we were that fucking... If we were that gone in brain, why didn't he get sectioned to Broadmoor or something?
Exactly.
Come on, Stacey. The new... It's all right saying he dreamt about doing it. It's all right saying he fascinated or whatever he envisaged doing it. Did he actually do it? Because all this seems a bit convenient, what they're saying. Because they didn't say any of this before, after they'd been killed. If that were the case, and this were a couple of days after they'd gone into that room, right, and had this conversation, yeah? As a clinician then, why didn't they ring up police then and say, well, actually, we've had this bloke in and he's been saying this, that, and other. Why wait for Crime Watch a year fucking later and then say something after ringing busies up? Come on. A little bit iffy.
They're not doing their job because they're not informing police that he's a psycho.
They're not police like that. They were lazy. Let's be honest. How many claims are coming out now about iffy police work? They're fucking lazy fuckers. And that's it. That's disgusting that he's gone there and told them and they won't do what about it. So they're just fucking bad if he did do it. You're the root cause of it all because none of you wanted to fucking deal with him.
Could have prevented it.
Sorry.
No. In his outburst to medical staff, Stone had asserted his own dangerousness, saying he was too violent to be held in prison and he needed to be to Broadmoor Hospital with notions of achieving fame and glory for his crimes.
I don't believe that.
It was known that Stone had also tried to admit himself to a psychiatric ward the day after the killings. Psychiatrists told the police that Stone fitted the e-fit and the police description of the murderer. A friend also rang police after reconstruction to say he believed Stone looked like the e-fit shown on the programme and reported that he had recently been acting strangely. Another friend said he had seen him wearing blood-soaked clothes on the day of the murders, although Stone said that was because he had been in a fight. Shortly before his arrest for the murders in 1997, Stone had threatened to kill his sister and one of her children and smashed up her car. Stone attempted suicide at least twice while on remand.
But if they thought that the day after the killing, when he tried to go in there, right? So when he went in to try getting his section, Stacey, right? They never did anything, right? They didn't ring police after that, right? A day after. They waited a year later till Crime Watch comes out. And they says, actually, we've had this bloke in. And he said that he looked like a Ethan, yeah? And how many other blokes look like that Ethan? And you'll get what I mean in a minute when we come up to it. So don't tell me he just looked like that Ethan, because that other person who I think it is does look like that Ethan as well. That is absolute bullshit, that is bollocks. I'm telling you, Susie, there's something stinks. Come on, a year later. All right, yeah. But who's to say when he did that with his sister, he's just not had a psychotic outburst? Because they're saying
she's still stood by him, and she still talks
and then
about
it. A year later, said, actually, do you know what? I see him in bloodstained clothes. But you can remember that back a year, can you? You'd have phoned up same day, Cruzy. Come on. Actually, do you know what? My mate, Michael Stone, he was covered in blood the day after, the day it happened. Yeah. Nobody said, oh. A year later, though, when it goes on to Crime Watch, everybody's starting to say this name. Oh, actually, yeah, I remember that. That happened on that day. Come on.
Yeah.
One stage, you can carry on, mate. Sorry.
No, that's the whole point. Stone had no alibi for the days of the murders, saying he could not remember where he was, as he had been taking so many drugs, and because more than a year had passed. He said that he could recall the week before the murders and the following then. And on the day following them, sorry. But not what he was doing on the day itself. He continued to maintain that he could not remember where he was on July 9th during both his trials. Our receipt shows that he was definitely at Cash Converters in Chattenham at 12:21 p.m. on the day, putting 40 miles away, although he could have travelled to Chillenden by the time of the murders, which occurred at approximately 4:30. Oh, sorry, 4:30 p.m. I'll do it correctly.
40 miles. Cruisy's better asking, like 40 miles.
Yeah.
What's that, 40-minute drive? Then you'd say a minute a mile? From where, if we're going on that he has done it. So he wouldn't Cash Converters.
43 miles away from Sheffield, so it's about an hour's drive.
Right. So say he wouldn't Cash Converters at 12:20, whatever they were doing in there. He could, in hindsight, with the time, made it. I'm not saying he couldn't. Yeah. Try to be both ends, you know, like. But that is true about being on drugs as well. You do have brain fog with it, especially on heroin and stuff like that. So that is plausible. Listen, I can't. If somebody said to you, Stacey, can you remember what you did exactly this day, this time last year? Could you remember? Because I know I can.
No.
Look, I don't think any of us could.
See, this is where it gets really a little bit because he's 40 miles away at 12:21. It takes about an hour, depending on roadworks, whatever you're going by, car, bus. Talking by bus could be 3 hours. Because you've got to think how many times it's going to stop. Train's the same. It could take less, but it still stops. But how does he get from the bus or from the train to the place he was at if he didn't drive?
Have a car, you're fucked, because for the start, they said he got out of a car. That were Battery. Stone didn't have a car, right?
But he never had a car.
It's epidemic because, to be blunt, they've all said they see this bloke getting out of this beige Sierra, I think.
Yeah.
Right? But if Stone didn't drive, which
exactly.
It never says in here he did or he didn't have a vehicle, to be fair, right?
No.
Then how did he get there? Because you said he come out of a car. There's no way. Where's he put the hammer? He ain't going to be walking around with an hammer on a bus, is he? Come on, let's be honest. He's got to have had a car.
No.
Go on,
and if he's got that with him and he's walking around, he's got to go from where he is 40 miles away from where he's going to now. Why did nobody spot with the hammer? How did he manage to get from A to B?
Exactly. And especially where it is as well. Come on.
Yeah. Too many inconsistencies.
There's too many holes. Like the fucking lid have a cheese. Holes. It's not clear cut, is it? This is why I wanted to do this one, because it does start an opinion off, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because you can't, well, we'll get into it anyway. Go on, Stacey. We'll carry on. We'll be here all night.
Okay. A detective from the case later stated that it was possible that, in the haze of drugs, Stone could have forgotten carrying out the attack at all. Stone told police he'd never heard of Chillenden, but friends testified that he knew the Chillenden area like the back of his hand. Stone has spent a short time at the East Street Children's Home, 2 miles, 3.2 kilometres from the murder scene, as a child of 8 or 9. A reason for Stone being in the woods near Chillenden on the day of the murder could not be established, as Stone lived 30 miles, 40 kilometres away in Gillingham. Police said that as Stone financed his drugs habit by burgling homes, stealing lawnmowers, mobile generators, and other items that he hoped to sell on, he could have been in Chillenden in order to steal something.
Yeah, it could have been, but going and stealing lawnmowers and burgling arms and generators is totally different, Stacey, from whacking somebody in the head with a fucking hammer. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he might have been there to rob old lawnmowers. Fair enough. But you can't say we're there to go do that to them. Fucking hell. Look,
too many-
fucking lawnmower.
Coincidence. I don't know. It's too many holes.
Police discovered that a lawnmower had been stolen from a cottage in Chillenden on the same day of the murders, only 200 to 400 yards, 180 to 370 kilometres, away from the scene of the attacks, and believes that Stone was responsible for this theft. He was known to have tried to sell a lawnmower to a relative shortly after the murders. It was also speculated that Stone could have decided to rob Lin Russell in desperate need for money to buy heroin. Stone was known to have always carried a hammer in his car.
But there's no mention of that in his car. Where's the car come from? Because he doesn't mention about driving a car.
And speculated, it says it on there, it was also speculated that Stone could have decided to rob Lin Russell. And that's what you think that happened, Bizzies. That's not what could have actually happened. You're just saying that because he's a druggist, so it's easy to say. You know what I mean? It's easy to say, well, he would have to rob him then because he wanted a fix.
A key witness in the case was a woman driving on the adjacent road who said she had seen a man hurriedly emerging out of a junction by the murder site in a beige car. She said that she could tell he was angry and that he kept looking back at her in his wing mirrors. It was this woman who later helped police create the e-fit of the suspected killer. Another witness recounted driving past a man acting strange nearby, not in a vehicle, but holding a claw hammer in his hand and looking agitated. A claw hammer was found to have been the weapon used in the attacks. A third witness also testified seeing a beige car parked by bushes nearby, a Ford Escort, and said that when he took his dog for a walk to the same spot half an hour later, he found a string bag with strips of towel in it which had been used to restrain the Russells, and which was smeared with their blood. Curiously, Stone owned a white Toyota Tercel at the time of the crime, and there are no records showing Stone as the owner of a beige car, like that which various witnesses have reported seeing. However, some of his friends claim that Stone did once drive a beige car that matched the one seen near the scene. Despite this, the only witness who is known to have definitely seen the attacker, surviving victim Josie Russell, maintained that the attacker had been in a red car, and Stone himself said that he owned a red car.
Right, 1 minute, Stacey. Right, so me and Cruzy can both drive, so can Rennie. Say, you're in your wing mirror and you look what's behind you. How could she tell he was angry? What, by his facial expression? So he's driving his car behind and she's looking in the wing mirror and she can tell that he's angry by that. Really?
Yeah, I can tell. I will say that when people get real road ragey here, you can definitely tell when they're looking at you in the rearview mirror and like holding. I don't know. I do know what she's talking about. I've seen it, but I mean, it's more road ragey over here. So, you know,
you've got here 1 minute somebody's saying a beige car, then you've got somebody saying a red car.
Yeah, now that's
Stone saying he owns a white Toyota Tercel.
Yeah.
There's three different skin colours here, Rennie. You've got a white, a red, and a beige. Beige is a cream, innit? White's for white. Yeah. And then you've got here, right? 1 minute, here it says nearby. So we've got a Ford Escort there. Now we've got a Toyota. Well, they never said it was a Toyota. They said it was a Ford. So he had a Stone owned a white Toyota at the time. But that up there, a third witness also testified seeing a beige car parked by bushes nearby, a Ford Escort. But it already says there Stone owns a Toyota.
So that on the car alone, that eliminates him.
None of that is conclusive to say that was definitely Stone's car because you've got 3 different cars there plus 3 different colours.
Yeah.
So she's driving in her car. See, this is me.
We're not talking about roads in America like you guys. We're talking about a country lane.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I drive country lane. Doing a country lane, I always look in my mirrors, but I never take my eyes off the road for more than a second. Quick look. Because you don't know who's fucking flying around the corner at you. You know, and if she's driving and she's looking in the mirror, why is she not watching the road? And she's concentrating on the mirror. Because I would not drive a car.
Got right up her ass, apparently, the car like just pulled out and it was right up her ass, the car. Because I've seen the reconstruction to it. But I do believe going on this is the evidence, by the way, what these have said. No disrespect, us four have all got lots of things wrong in life daily. We all do things and we get wrong or make mistakes. So who's to say them witnesses haven't made a mistake? Never, because for me, it's not even consistent. There's 3 different car colours, Renee, 3 different brand of cars. So what it a Ford, what it a Toyota, what it red, what it white, what it beige? It's a bit too much for me, that. It's not all 3 of them had said it was a white car, or they hadn't said it was all a red car. You've got Megan, the last who got hit on the head, Josie, saying it were red. You've got a witness saying it were beige, and you've got Michael Stone who's got a white car. So who's to say
she's saying that it was actually Spud. He was recounting driving past a man acting strangely nearby, not in a vehicle,
the road, no car.
Hammer. She was looking in a wing mirror. So why was she looking in a wing mirror, not driving?
And then it says in here, though, as well, another witness recounted driving past a man acting strangely nearby, but not in a vehicle. But then they're saying he wasn't in a vehicle. So that's all contradicting itself, in my opinion.
Exactly.
What's the problem with witnesses?
You can get it wrong, Renee.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, no, right. I find it funny, but Drew is right. 1 minute, let me just clear this. I'll get it come back at me. And 2, honestly, we'll try to take this seriously with crime. Like, I know you're not used to it with us, but we're seriously we want to try and make a real good go of this one. So don't worry, Norm, it's all good. Go. You're right, Steph.
Okay. Yeah, I was waiting for you to finish your conversation. At the crime scene, a fingerprint impressed in blood was found on the lid of Josie's lunchbox, which was inside a zipped-up bag. And hairs were found that did not belong to any of the victims. A black bootlace that was blood-stained had been used in the attack. Stone was known to use a bootlace as a tourniquet to raise the veins in his arms when injecting drugs. These items were scientifically tested using the techniques then available, and no link was found to Stone.
Stop there, Stace. Stop there. Right, yeah. And how many junkies do that? Use that same modus of jacking up, Stacey? Come on, lots of drug users. 90% would either use, I don't know, one of them tight things, or they use a shoelace. So you can't really say 100% he's done that. And 2, there were no. Oh no, chill, man. It's all good. All good. No, it's all good. Don't worry. No, 2. No DNA found on that shoelace of Russell of Michael Stone. There were no his DNA went on there.
Yeah, because when you tie a shoelace, you leave your skin cells inside the shoelace because you are shedding your skin all the time, and there was no trace of them all in the shoelace. So
but you're saying, you see, they contradict themselves there again, Cruz, right? Because they're saying 1 minute they use it as a bootlace to raise his veins, but on the other hand, there were no DNA evidence of Stone on that shoelace. So you can't have both ways. 1 minute say it is, and then next when DNA evidence says it in, to say, well, then, do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Norm, you can't leave. We like you. Listen.
Yeah, Norm, it's all good. Chill out. It's all good.
Chill out, man. We're grown adults. We can take a laugh. I'm fucking funny.
Go on, Stairs, carry on.
Anyway.
The blood-stained strips of towel and string bag were also scientifically examined, and no link was found on these to Stone either. The fingerprint on lunchbox was conclusively found not to belong to Stone, as it did not share his distinctive fingerprint pattern. Although it was determined that it could have been Lin's fingerprint, yet the scenario would have meant the victim would have had to have left the fingerprint on the lunchbox before the attacker zipped up the lunch bag, again, as the box was found zipped up and closed when the police arrived at the scene. A full DNA profile was compiled from the hairs found at the scene by the police, but no match was made to any known person. It is not known for certain whether the hairs belonged to the attacker, or as they could have gotten into the girls' clothing when they were at the swimming gala. See, that's plausible.
Evidence those days.
Yeah, the hair. That is plausible.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it could have been anybody's hair, but not to find any DNA evidence. And if he's going to whack them with hammers, mate, there's going to be something there, and absolutely nothing for Stones. And if they're saying that shoelace or they found it and that was what he tied up with, well, surely his DNA would be on there if he tied him up. Of course it would.
Especially if it's in his car.
Yeah, innit? Come on.
And the fingerprint is because he got him at 13. Well, you got a match 13 points on a fingerprint, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
So they can use it if anything less than
conclusive.
Yeah. So see, brain's starting to work now again. I love this late night shit.
Excuse me. A hammer was found near the scene of the murders, although it could not be conclusively determined whether it had been the hammer used in the attack. The day after the attack, friends noticed that Stone's clothing was bloodstained and that he refused to enter their home as usual. They also noticed bloodstains on his toolbox in his car, on a blue sweatshirt. Stone claimed this was a result of him being in a fight. Although no marks on Stone were seen, shortly after this, his friend alleged that Stone removed the bloodstained items from his car and changed his clothes. He later told the police that he then buried all his clothes.
Burned.
Burned, sorry.
They've seen this, right? These friends, right? A day after this happened. Why didn't none of them ring police then?
Yeah.
They knew what had happened. So why left it here? Just because, and that is plausible as well. He could have got into a fight and might have owed people money. He could have been out and got into a scrap. That is plausible, though, to be fair.
He's a drug addict.
What's all this about blood on toolboxes and all this lot? Yeah, that could be anything.
Yeah.
You can prove it there.
Where is it? I cut myself yesterday, on a fucking carving knife, put it into a fucking old drink kitchen, blood everywhere. Easy done. Just saying.
It is exactly. He could have cut himself or anything. Facts.
Yeah.
You can't just say it's definitely just because he had blood on.
Yeah. No.
First trial. Stone pleaded not guilty at his original trial in 1998, but his conviction was primarily based on a testimony from a witness, Damien Daly, who claimed that Stone had confessed to him while in prison during a conversation through a heating pipe at the back of their cells. Daly was himself subsequently found guilty of murder in 2014. Stone was known to have attempted suicide at least twice in prison at the time the confessions were supposed to have taken place. Another two prisoners, Mark Jennings and Barry Thompson, also testified at the trial that Stone had suggested to them an involvement in the crimes. The court also heard that Stone was unable to present any of his clothing he was wearing at the time for analysis, as he had burned them because he was too fat.
Right, so you're taking a word of cons for the start, and you've seen them pipes. What I'm talking about, Stacey. So you're telling me prosecution are going to convict him over talking through a fucking pipe? Who's to say he didn't say it? And these were all in prison at the time with him.
Yeah,
so they're all
what were they offered? What were these prisoners offered? What were they offered for the testimony?
A fucking sentence. Fuck off, Stacey. You cannot convict somebody of hearsay. No. It's hearsay. And you've seen them like I'm talking about.
They don't like convicts going into a courtroom and being.
And there's not just one convict up
there. Not reliable witnesses.
Right. Makes you think what they were offered. What were they offered for the testimony?
Yeah,
definitely. And suggest to them their involvement. Suggest means shit. Suggest. It means jack fucking shit. That's what it means to suggest.
Yeah, they were all for early release.
I could suggest I need a holiday to Hawaii. Am I going to get it? I'm off for. Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Suggest. It's not definitely. Yeah. I'm taking the word of cons. Come on, Rennie, you know what it's like in America. Taking words of cons. They're unreliable as it goes. They were both in prison. 3 of them were in prison with him.
Yeah, and a lot of them, like you said, they'll be offered deals.
Of course, because that evidence was thin, so that they knew that somebody saying that he'd been convicted, had done it, somebody coming up and saying, actually, told me he'd done it, would look better in court, because that evidence that they would have gone with, they were fuck all there to prove it.
Yeah, anytime you're getting like jailhouse testimony, you have to be kind of cautious about, who it's coming from. Why are they suddenly being so forthcoming? It just kind of gets a lot of questions,
I just think that's piss poor evidence, Stacey. And let's be honest, on the evidence alone that they had, they couldn't convict him on that. So they had to get somebody to say they did him. And you're telling me you've convicted him on somebody talking through pipes?
Yeah.
Do you know when you said that they found the hammer? Near the scene. How could they found the hammer that he'd used if it was him that used it near the scene? If it was actually at the end of the right at the end of the foot.
They can't conclusively say it was a hammer used.
And two, they said in that last slide, that there were a hammer in the toolbox covered in blood. So there can't have been 2 hammers.
Yeah. And he had one in his hand when he was at the end of the lane. So that means 3 hammers. One where Dave got murdered, one in the car, and one in his hand. So it smells bad, man. Taking the word off cons, talking through fucking walls now. I could tell Rennie I'm a serial killer and I've murdered 20 people. Yeah, that's just hearsay. Prove I've done it. Facts.
Exactly.
Well,
as the result, the conviction hinged upon the 3 confessions Stone was allegedly to have made. There was no forensic evidence linking Stone to the crime. The confessions did not contain any material that had been previously reported by the national press. But on the contrary, all the details found in the confession had been published in the national press on the day of the alleged confession, apart from the reference to a shoelace which had been previously published. The DNA found in the black lace, which had been used in the crime and dropped by the perpetrator, moreover, did not correspond to Stone's profile. The case was otherwise simply circumstantial.
No evidence at all there. You can see that, Stacey.
No. Yeah,
it hinged upon 3 confessions of cons. That's what that case was convicted on. With them 3 who were cons, in my opinion, are unreliable witnesses, and that's what they convicted him on.
Yeah.
Very circumstantial.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Unless on the word of 3 cons, you've took that conviction on the word of 3 cons.
The jury took nearly 15 hours over 2 days to find Stone guilty by a 10-2 majority verdict. Some evidence against Stone was not able to be presented in court, such as his long record of violent crime and of severe mental illness. The statements from the psychiatrists and nurses who had named Nurse as a suspect after the crime of reconstruction, in which they told of Stone's threats to kill and of his irrational and dangerous behaviour on the days before the murders, was not heard by the jury. After the arrest of Stone, surviving victim Josie Russell had said that she recognised him from newspaper pictures in articles covering the story, but admissibility laws prevented this from being heard in court. Police were also unable to present their suspicions that Stone was responsible for the theft of the lawnmower yards from the murder site on the day of the murder.
So you guys over there can have someone guilty of murder by a 10-2. You can do a majority verdict?
Yeah.
You know, if we don't, it has to be
it's got to be
a hung jury in it.
Interesting. Okay.
In America, there's a hung jury in it.
Let's be honest, as we all well know, as newspapers or journalists, that information was all in the public eye. So them 3 up there will have just read newspapers, or could have just read newspapers, in my opinion, to say that it said what it said, because it was all public knowledge, and it was all in the newspapers. Them 3 cons will have been offered something like, look, you say, you know, you will be out in a year, say, for example.
Yeah.
It was all public. Nothing that was told to the police by them 3 was any different to what were impressed. There was nothing new to it.
Or in press.
Just what was said in press.
And generally over here, I'd be shocked if they didn't do it over there, but a good defense attorney would get these people on the stand and start asking, why are you suddenly coming forward now? Like, you know, they can coax it out of them. What kind of deal did you get for this? It's just the goodness of your heart? Like,
because they're all corrupt. I didn't mean that. Yeah, I did. They are corrupt.
Fucking are corrupt.
Well,
the cops against
convicts. I'm not saying all coppers are worse than convicts. There's
not at all.
So if anybody coming for me, don't bother. I've got friends who are police officers, and I know they're the best.
And they entertain you as a friend with how dodgy you are. Fucking hell.
I'm a good girl.
The problem with evidence against Stone was simple. There wasn't any. No witness, no forensic evidence. He was 4 inches shorter than the man Josie remembered. Everything was circumstantial. A lawnmower had been stolen in Cherry Garden Lane that day. Stone was known to steal lawnmowers. He was also known to carry a hammer in his car, something he lied about when questioned by police. Blue lace was not was used by an intravenous drug user as a tourniquet. Stone was a heroin addict. Witnesses saw Stone in bloody clothing the day after the attack. Why, says Barbara, would Mick be lingering in a remote... Sorry.
1 minute, Stace, right? So there. Right. How is this even being convicted? No witnesses, no forensic evidence. Yeah, a lawnmower got nicked, but you can't prove it the lawnmower. And because he would have heroin addict, that shoelace were his. It's all like presuming. It's just presuming he's done it, Stacey. It's not. He's definitely done it. It's just, well, this ties with this, so we'll say he's done that. That does with that. That is absolute fucking bullshit. Crazy.
Agreed. Why, says Barbara, would Mick be lingering in a remote country lane to rob people? The prosecution relied upon the testimony of a convicted criminal called Damien Daly. Daly was an inmate at H&P Canterbury, where Stone was first remanded. Stone had asked to go on to the segregation unit, McDonald says, because he was being abused by other prisoners, and he was worried one would make up a false confession involving him. In an adjoining cell, Daly was being held on charges of arson and grievous bodily harm. His charges were dropped by Kent police after Daly said that Stone confessed to the murders through a pipe in the wall. Almost all the information in the alleged confession Daly said he heard was already in the public domain. Much of it was in a copy of the Daily Mirror, which Daly had in his cell. And there we go.
There we go. We get to the real thing, don't we? Gets his charges dropped. There we go.
Now. Two prosecution witnesses, Matt Jennings and Barry Thompson, both convicted criminals, alleged that Stone had told them he was involved in the murders while in prison. Fourth witness, Cherie Batt, told the court she saw him in blood-stained clothes. In October 1998, Stone was found guilty, and almost immediately the case collapsed. Thompson admitted to lying on the witness stand. Batt's mother, Jean Batt, said her daughter had lied. Jennings was also found to have been paid by the son.
Yep.
The conviction was squashed in 2001 on the grounds that Thompson had retracted his evidence and a real trial was ordered.
That Thompson had retracted his evidence? You mean it got retracted because it were a load of old shit?
Yep.
As it is.
Mm-hmm.
He was paid. Come on.
In the Court of Appeal ordered a retrial in February 2001. After 2 out of the 3 prisoners had their evidence discredited. Within 24 hours of the first trial, one of the prisoners who gave key evidence, Barry Thompson, admitted he had lied about Stone, confessing to him, and retracted his evidence. It was also found the second prisoner who gave evidence, Matt Jennings, had been paid £5,000 by the Sun newspaper and promised a further $10,000 before he gave evidence, so his statement was deemed unreliable. However, Stone was convicted. Sorry.
Well, that's the only reason he gave evidence. And listen to this, if you're in prison, right, somebody comes to you and says, we'll give you 5 now, give you another 10 when you come out, you just got to lie.
Yep.
Let's face
yeah,
it,
you take it.
Of course, most people
you're already in prison.
Convictions cost. So they go into prison with full collar, right? They'll come out and they think, well, I'm going to be 15 grand better off and I'm not going to be in prison. Come on, Stacey. More or less every con you spoke to, I suppose, in America or England would do it.
Yeah, guarantee.
Yeah.
What have we got to lose? They're in prison already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if it's in the public domain, which it was, Stacey, at the time, right? Yep. They could have just got newspapers and researched up on that. It wasn't hard.
Because even Josie said she recognised him from papers.
Exactly.
Yeah. However, Stone was convicted a second time in 2001, this time on the sole evidence of the confession allegedly made to Damien Daly. He himself was subsequently convicted of murder. Oh, what winky dink. The jury taking less time than the first trial to find him guilty. The alleged confession merely repeated facts that had been published in the national newspaper on the date it was made on the 23rd of the 9th, 1997.
Crazy.
Any person who would therefore read the newspapers could have given a similar account of the crime. I tied them up with wet towels. The dog barked loudly. One of them tried to run away. He mentioned something about shorts, shoes, or shoelaces. Josie's evidence was that the dog did not bark. As part of the trial, the jury visited the prison cells where Stone's confession to Daly was alleged to have taken place and listened as an extract from a Harry Potter novel was read near the gap around the pipe during the 2 cells to determine whether the confession was plausible.
So again, he's been convicted on one convict and that the talk through this pipe, and you've took the prosecution or you've took the fucking thingy and you're into prison and read a book down there. Who's to say they didn't make changes to them pipes so they could have aired in that time? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's
true. That is true. On the stand, Daly admitted he lied in court at the vigil trial when he denied having ever used drugs. I am a crook, Daly told the court, but he insisted that Stone had confessed to him. The judge instructed the jurors to find Stone innocent if they did not believe Daly. Once again, Stone was found guilty by a 10-2 majority. He was convicted. Barbara shouted, "Not again." To this day, she says, I can remember the jury members and the fact that one came back crying after the verdict. In the years since, McDonald has presented evidence to both the Court of Appeal and the CRRC that Daley lied in the forms of statements from 5 people Daley alleged confessed to. In 2017, BBC interviewed an anonymous witness who also claimed that Daley admitted making the self-confession up. None of these efforts have persuaded the appeal court judges to overturn the conviction or the CCRC to refer the case back to the Court of Appeals for review. In 2014, 13 years after his testimony put Stone behind bars, Daley was convicted of murder. He is serving a life sentence. Barbara went to his trial. He made my life hell, she says. I wanted to go there and see if I could learn a thing or two.
I'm not being funny about this, like CRC, yeah, and all these. How can any of them say that's beyond reasonable doubt to convict him?
Yeah.
And the guy that did end up, or was saying it, admitted to lying, and now he's been convicted of murder as well.
He would offer it off
They
with it.
don't want to admit they was wrong.
That is true, but that is absolutely shocking that a bloke will have spent most of his life in prison for a crime that he never did.
Because he gets out, he's found innocent, he gets out, gosh, he can bang in for a claim. He's going to get absolute fucking millions. That's why they won't admit they were wrong.
But then they're all corrupt, and I mean, another majority 10-2, so we're another 10-2 swing as well. So not everybody were on that panel saying. I mean, if you've got jurors coming out crying, some of them were unsure. Not everybody could say that it would be on reasonable doubt. Even the jury, it's a 10-2.
I mean, you all know as a jury when you go sit in one of them rooms, right? You're the ones in the room. You and the other jurors, and some jurors can be quite persuasive, saying, "Well, you're wrong. We did it. You did it." And badgering another juror could actually make them change their decision on whether or not he is or he isn't.
He never admitted it, even in questioning. He never admitted it. He never admitted it at all like that. So it's all very, 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 very thin.
Yeah.
Really thin. Like, this would have been presented now. This would have been kicked out of court. I can't even lie. I mean, back. I know it's not that far back, but back then it's totally different to how it is now. That would have been kicked out of court. That's bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stone continues to argue that his conviction is miscarriage of justice on the grounds that the evidence against him came from another prisoner who was described as a career criminal, who the Crown acknowledged would lie when it suited him. Stone's sister, who originally thought Stone could be indeed guilty of the crime, said in 1998 she had changed her mind and been persuaded that her brother was not guilty. However, she said that she suspected her brother of killing before.
1974.
2010, Criminal Case Review Commission, CCRC, announced that it would not refer the case back to the Court of Appeals because it had found no new evidence justify making a referral. As part of investigations, the CCRC had carried out a number of forensic tests on the material found at the crime scene at the request of Stone's legal team. Subsequently, Stone's legal team applied in 2011 for a judicial review, seeking court orders which would force the CCRC to reconsider their decision. As part of this, Stone's team cited the dismissal of the testimony of a new witness, prisoner, again, Alan King, who came forward to say that the prisoner Stone allegedly confessed to was lying. The Court of Appeal found that the CCRC was entitled to not to find the new witness evidence credible based on the length of time it had taken the witness to come forward.
Yeah.
Stone's legal team has asked the CCRC to re-examine a 1 metre, 3 foot by 3 inch long bootlace which had been used in the attacks and has been dropped at the scene of the crime by the murderer. With the advance in DNA testing, Stone's team requested the lace be examined using more modern forensic techniques to see if the attacker's DNA can now be found on it. However, shock horror, police said the lace could not be located.
The lace
they lost the lace, didn't they?
I lost the lace, so that, and then so you take word of a prisoner that said he has done it, but then you won't take the word of a prisoner that said that the same prisoner has confessed to him that he was lying, but you took his word on it on 2 times when he were put in court, but yet you won't take somebody else's word on it that he's a prisoner, that actually that guy made it up. That's absolutely craziness, that.
Yeah.
So it's all right when it fits for them to use them. But when he wants to use it on his defence, they're not interested. Crazy.
So this is who is suspected to have been the actual murderer of Lin and Megan Russell. So Levi Bellfield, which I think Jess is going to do next week, week after.
Yeah, I'm going to carry on with from.
So she'll carry on with she'll go on to the Levi part, but this is some of the because look, Bellfield admitted, confessed to it.
And if you look at that E-fit,
you are right. It does look like the E-fit.
He's got that fat face like the E-fit. If you look at that E-fit, right, it's more swaying, in my opinion, towards Levi Bellfield than it does Michael Stone. Because if you look at his hair there as well, Michael Stone's, he's got like this receding patch on it. But that hairstyle's more like what Levi Bellfield's got. He drove a similar colour car at the time. Do you know what I mean?
Because even at his mugshot, he still looks like the E-fit.
He does, because his face is a lot fatter than Michael Stone's. And you don't see many fat heroin addicts, let's be honest.
No, you're right.
It's not to say it, but
no, it's just, I'm sorry, that's not a pro. I shouldn't be laughing. It's just
but it's true though, isn't it? You don't see many fat fucking heroin addicts, Stacey, Rennie. They're like 6 stone piss wet through.
Sorry, I know we're taking this seriously. That just tickled me.
So,
but you're right.
I do. Sorry.
You're absolutely right. It's not the drug of choice for fatties.
Exactly. This is what
we're trying to say. It's a little bit on Levi. In May and June of 2017, the case was scrutinised in a 2-part BBC Two programme. Oh, that's watched one. The Chillenden murders, in which a team of independent experts re-examined the evidence and suggested the wrong man might have been convicted. 2 legal experts who took part in the panel, defence barrister Stephen Camelish QC and legal expert Sharon Wusu, I think I've seen Stephen Camelish quite a few times actually, said that there are significant doubts regarding the conviction and are now working on Stone's behalf to have the case re-examined with the aim of launching a 3rd appeal against the conviction. On November 29th, 2017, BBC Wales reported that Levi Bellfield had allegedly confessed to the murders to a fellow prisoner, giving details that would only be known by the killer. Bellfield denied that he committed the murders and denied making the confession. In February 2022, Stone's solicitor, Paul Bacon, stated that Bellfield had admitted to the murders in a statement containing details which, Bacon suggested, would be known only to the actual killer. However, a member of Stone's legal team stated that there was nothing in Bellfield's statement which was not already in the public domain, suggesting he could have fabricated it using known evidence. The detective responsible for investigating Bellfield's known crimes also stated to the press, "Knowing Bellfield as I do, this could be him playing mind games." The Metropolitan Police previously investigated allegations that Bellfield was involved in the Russell's murders and found no evidence to support the suggestion. There was no evidence to say that he fucking did it.
Yeah, but when it's sorted, then they could use a prisoner. That would conflicting evidence to charge him.
Yeah.
But when somebody else is, they don't want to know.
Thing is, right, he's just said that Bellfield made a statement that it was him that did the killings.
Because it was in the public eye. But so did they. They convicted him in prison. Then that were in prison at the self-same thing that were only convicted on what they put in place.
The things he'd said he'd done, only the killer would know, wasn't in the public domain. So how can they say it wasn't in the public domain when it was on the killer that had know what was said, what happened? That in itself is wrong. Because they're just trying to trick themselves by saying, well, Bellfield said bits and bits and bits and bits of this, that the killer would only know, and then they've said it in the paper. So how could it be in the paper if only the killer knew?
Exactly.
That was a lot of bollocks in itself.
Contradicts itself, doesn't it, Cruz?
Yeah, it does. It really, really does.
It does.
I love this stuff. Sorry.
No. In April 2023, Bellfield's lawyer claimed that Bellfield had admitted to the murders during a conversation with a prison psychologist. Stone's lawyer declared that the signed confession by Bellfield had been handed over to the CCRC. However, Bellfield later retracted the confessions, and it was reported that he had sent a letter to Kent Police explaining that he only confessed for a £5,000 cash payment. Bellfield had previously stated in 2017 that he had been repeatedly offered money by Stone's defence team to confess to the killings. Oh dear. The senior investigating officer on the Bellfield case, Colin Sutton, commented, "My view is that Bellfield knows he is in prison forever, that he has somehow joined up with Stone and offered to lie on his behalf for payment." Bellfield's 2023 letter claiming that he'd been offered £5,000 to confess was passed to the CCRC. Ultimately, in July 2023, the CCRC announced that Stone's case would not be referred to the County Court of Appeal, as there was no real possibility that the court would overturn his conviction. It explained that he had identified no credible new evidence or information and considered whether there are any further proportionate lines of inquiry with the prospect of yielding new evidence capable of making a difference to the safety of Mr. Stone's convictions, but has not identified any. In October 2023, the CCRC announced it was conducting a fresh review of the Stone's case. The decision followed a statement by Stone's legal team that they would seek judicial review of the previous decision not to refer the case. The CCRC commented, "While we can't comment on the specifics of the investigation, it is not unusual for different reviews to focus on different arguments or evidence." It added that the CCRC's previous reviews found no credible evidence or argument that raised a real possibility of the convictions being quashed. The conclusions are not affected by a new review. As part of the review, the CCRC announced in November that it was performing a new forensic testing on the evidence in the Russell's murders using a technique that had not been discovered at the time of Stone's conviction.
That's crazy.
Discussion, or do you want me to continue?
No, go, Stash, right.
Continue. Stone's legal team have argued that Levi Bellfield could be responsible for the killings. However, Bellfield's partner at the time, Joanna Collins, has insisted that she was with him on the day of the murders as it was her birthday. She told investigators this, and it was an alibi that the detectives found credible. Collins had helped detectives convict Bellfield for his previous murders, such as in Millie Dowler's murder, giving evidence that he knew the area well, the area where her body was left. And in regards to the Russell murders, however, she commented in the BBC documentary in 2017. "My daughter was born in 96, and that was the day of my birthday. He never left my side all day and all night. So there's absolutely no way he could have got from Twickenham, where I lived, or Windsor, where I kept my horses, to Kent, done what they said he did, and got back without me not knowing he was there. I can, hand on my heart, I hate to say it, but I can say it under my heart, he didn't do it."
So where was she? Twickenham or Windsor?
What you
His
saying?
horses
Anna?
were-
I was going to ask if that woman was rich keeping horses at Windsor.
Yeah. She was well-to-do
Go back
lady,
to it.
stately home and everything.
Right.
Go back to it, Stacey, because it says. So she
What's that?
says, absolutely no way he could have got from Twickenham, where I lived, or Windsor, where I kept my
How
horses.
does she know how far it was? How does she know how far it was?
Wasn't she?
And so, how does she know how long it takes to get there? Why she done it before or something?
Yeah, but she was in hospital the day this happened. So how could you got there anyway if it was with her, like she says it was?
Because she's talking.
Yeah, it's kind of contradicting that, isn't it? She said, "My daughter was born in
Yeah.
96, and that was the day of my birthday.
My child was born. So how could
He never left my side all day. So she was in hospital. She was in
Lied
hospital.
for him.
It wouldn't have been able to stay."
They go, see, that's wrong. I got that bit.
Contradicts itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Levi Bellfield's crimes with murders of Millie Dowler, Masha McDowell, and Amelia Delgarangay. Criminal charges.
That's that last that he murdered with a slab in it.
Yep.
He took the brick on a field.
Abduction, attempted murder, and murder.
Yeah. No, he definitely
Is
definitely
Michael
did
Stone
murder.
guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? Chat, what are your thoughts? Excuse me. And for your thoughts, I will stop sharing the screen.
Well, in my opinion, I don't think that's beyond reasonable doubt. No, I'm sorry. There's too many holes in it.
Circumstantial evidence is thin
Not
at
even
best.
circumstantial. It's thin as fuck. He's taking word of
It's
someone
thin at
con.
best.
Yep.
There's no
And
evidence to
like
prove
Jules said,
this.
it looks nothing like. Just
Exactly.
quite making a point that Jules put. It looks nothing like it looks nothing like Stone. Nothing like him at all.
It does, doesn't he, Drula?
You see, what I don't get is, right, Stone's never attacked a child. Never attacked a child.
So why
They
would
were
I
just
think?
going.
And he liked
just
women
going
with blonde
with
hair, Bellfield. He was obsessed with them.
Yeah. He killed Billy Dowler. Fucking
He
grabbed
was
him, put him in
obsessed.
his fucking
Exactly.
car.
He's never said about Stone doing anything to kids growing up. He's been violent and aggressive and all this lot. But that was more is because he was obsessed with people with blonde hair.
Yeah, Billy Dowler was a schoolgirl.
It took her straight off the road.
Was either going or coming off
main
the
road.
road. And
This one's brazen.
Me, I believe that Stone is innocent and Bellfield is the guilty party. That's my opinion, because there's no evidence to prove that Stone did it. There's no DNA to prove that Stone did it. There's so many conflicts of interest of people saying, he did. Yeah, you're convicts. You've been known for murder, you've been known for this, that, and that.
You convicted him on the word of a criminal, word of mouth. That's all he's been convicted on, word of mouth. He hasn't been convicted on any evidence to say it was there. They've got nothing. He's been convicted on basically somebody talking through a pipe who's a criminal themselves anyway. So how is that beyond reasonable doubt? Because in my opinion, that is not beyond reasonable doubt. It isn't. I don't know what it'd be like in America, Rennie, in your courtrooms, but in my opinion, that is not beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah, nice. And if it's not a full vote of 12 jurors, it's sent to two of the jurors believed you were innocent.
I was going to say you wouldn't have even gotten the conviction over here because you have to have a unanimous jury of 12. So it would have been a hung jury over here.
Yeah.
I just don't see how you can convict him on word of mouth, Rennie, of somebody talking through a pipe. All that stuff was in the public eye, Rennie. What was said in court, what we all knew as people.
Yeah.
It's not definitive, is it? It's not like they've got a fingerprint or a DNA. There's nothing other than somebody's word of mouth.
There's no rock-solid evidence.
There's nothing?
Yeah, there's no rock-solid evidence to prove he's ever attacked a child, which I find that why would you go from doing that to doing that? It doesn't seem right. Yes, I know smackheads can be quite devious, and trust me, I know. Yeah, but I don't understand why I'd go from attacking adults to attacking a child for no reason at all. I don't get that bit because it's not in their mentality to do that.
I never took any money or personal, but he had an obsession with people with blonde hair, Levi Bellfield. Yeah. Mother did as well. She had blonde hair, the dog was blonde.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you convict somebody on saying something through a wall?
Yeah, you can't rely on a convict's statement of another convict because it's tit for tat. They're all in the same place.
Because he did it, he got his charges dropped.
Yeah, exactly. But I think he is innocent. There's not enough to convict him in my eyes. There's not any evidence. There's too many if, why, and when, how. Now it's not enough for me to convict a man like that, and I think he's innocent. In fact, I believe he's innocent because there's just no chance. Why would you convict some guy on evidence that ain't even there? Don't even prove he was there. There's no DNA.
No smoking gun, is there? You know what I'm saying?
There's just nothing to say he committed them murders.
Other than somebody that's read it in newspaper and spoke through a pipe.
Yeah. It's what's the word I'm looking for? I will think about it in a minute. Let me think of it.
It's not beyond reasonable doubt for me, and I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how we got convicted in first place.
Evidence. There's nothing to suggest that Stone did it at all. And to be quite honest with you, yeah, he's a smackhead. Yeah, he needed the buzz. He stole things. He went for adults, not for children. And I don't know. I think he's innocent.
Listen, there's two different things of robbing people to feed your habit and smashing somebody's skull in with a hammer for no reason at all. And then all this convenience after, it was a year later before anybody said anything like, oh, yes,
exactly.
This, that, and other. And then you get to court, there's no evidence at all.
Yep.
all you've got is two people talking through a pipe that he's been convicted on. And how can the CRC not give him an appeal for that? I'm sorry, but he's poor.
I don't understand why they don't give him an appeal, because he should have been entitled to one. He's entitled to an appeal. By law, you're entitled to an appeal. And if he's not,
there's no such evidence, what evidence is to convict him?
Unless it's proven that it's happened and they're the one that have done it, then they don't get an appeal. But he wasn't proven he did it. There was no way they proved he did it. So why wouldn't he allow an appeal? I don't get that.
Crazy.
Sounds.
I did say it did divide opinion, this one, though. It's not as clear cut as it looks. Maybe, he's a violent person, and he's been out robbing his smack. But I can't 100% hand on my heart say that wrong man sat in prison, because I can't.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah.
And even if it is him, and he did do it, how many times has he been? There's been flaws to prevent this within mental health service, because nobody wanted to deal with him because they don't know how to deal with him. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, if he did do it, have to take responsibility themselves as well, because they all put him off for pillar to post. You know, it just was somebody that was easy to pin it on. That's all it was.
I also think that the fact that they turned around and said that they couldn't handle him was the easier route of them saying, "You did do it. You did. He's threatened with Amazon stuff. Yeah. We'll do that. That means he gets locked away. We don't have to deal with him anymore." That's exactly what they did. They lied and said, "Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do that with us." We would have said that a year later, because it means that we didn't have to deal with him. They couldn't handle it. So then it's down to them for not being honest and telling the truth. They could have put him in Broadmoor. They could have put him in some secure unit. We've got it here. Well, I won't say it's secure here, actually. In fact, we've got two here. One at Seacroft and one in St. James's. But to do what they did and lie about the evidence and then get convicts to say this shit and that, it's hob now. There's nothing to convict a guy who's innocent of a crime he didn't commit. It's simple as that.
What really burns me up, and it happens over here a lot too, is losing evidence.
Yeah.
It's inexcusable. You have a chain of custody. How does shit go missing? How did you lose the lace? Like,
exactly. It's all logged and tagged and
exactly
signed in for, signed out.
Like, you should know
where miraculously come out when he's dead.
And they're finding a lot of this shit now because they can go back and do more and more advanced DNA testing with less and less material, right? Mm-hmm. So they're going back to innocence projects and testing stuff now.
Yeah.
And many of these cases, they go back and find out critical pieces of evidence are missing. And that just burns me up. Like, how?
Yeah.
Lazy. It's true, it's lazy police work.
Yeah, shitty things.
They know if they hand that bit of shoelace over, it'll prove that he's innocent, and then there's going to be shit to pay, and you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be problems, there's going to be money to be paying out, so it's easier just to keep him in there.
Yeah,
I'll stick with what I've just said. When he guaranteed now, when he dies, that lace will miraculously reappear out of nowhere.
Yeah, he can't speak for himself because he's dead, which is happened
because
quite
he's dead.
What just spent 20 years in prison for something you want done?
No, it doesn't serve.
Realise he's innocent and go, oopsie, it's back on the hand.
Well, it doesn't serve the interest of the people. Like, it doesn't make you or me or anyone else safer. Like, that's what burns me up. Like, test it, and so we can really know if we've got the right person in jail. You know, because whoever did that, you don't want them out on the street. And maybe it's not Bellfield, and maybe it's not him, and maybe it's some person that they never looked at, but this person is out walking around. Like, you don't want that. I don't know. It just...
Yeah. I think 2 minutes. So it comes inconsistencies to prove he's guilty. There you go. I said the word.
Yes, there's far too many. There's nothing damning.
No.
There's no physical evidence tying him to the murders. There's no witnesses tying him to the murders. The confessions he supposedly said were by fucking 3 convicted criminals. 2 are being thrown out. 1 ever still being paid to fucking do the confession. On that alone, this should be thrown out completely, and he should be set free.
Yeah.
Just on that alone, no physical evidence, no witnesses. The confessions are made by fucking criminals themselves have been proven that the fault of the line.
What do you think? We're not smoking gun to say he had done it.
Exactly.
And the 2 laces have got DNA in it as somewhat disappeared. What a
And they
coincidence.
said Lucy Letby's with Finn. Well, that's even thinner than Lucy Letby's for me.
Well,
yeah, a lot thinner. A lot thinner.
You know what I'm saying? Like people are saying that's a bit beyond reasonable doubt. Well, if that is, this has been like 3 times above that because there's nothing other than some con. I could have read it in newspaper for me. It's fucking shit house.
There's another case that's very similar to this. Bobby Joe.
Yes, I know you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're on about.
Yeah. It's a similar circumstances how she was found outside the backyard doors, and they're supposed to have gone out, and he's supposed to come back, and he's supposed to have murdered her. See, that's another thing that we're quite confusing because this is what this case is about. It's about putting evidence for a murder that somebody's committed. They say they've got this, they've got this, and they've got this, and they've got this, and really they've got fuck all to say he did it. You know, and Stone's been in prison for such a long time, and he says he don't remember doing it. Junkies are quite forgetful, as we know. But to go from attacking adults to children, I don't understand where the crossover came, because there's nothing in his childhood where he's attacked a child at all. But with Bellfield, oh yeah, I wait, what I can call him. Bellfield's a singer, isn't he? Sorry. Yeah, no, innocent for me. He's innocent.
He's innocent for me.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't necessarily think they've made their case beyond a reasonable doubt, which is disturbing.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's not being.
I would rather see personally.
That's a fact. Could have also his money for drugs and stitched him up.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's another good valid point there, mate.
The police are corrupt. Our police in this country are so corrupt. Having WhatsApp messages with each other fucking copper and sending dirty messages about people that have been murdered and taking piss out of them and shit like that and rape. Nah, man. We wouldn't trust police. They're fucking scandalous here. When they get caught out or get a slap up fucking wrist and lose a job. Nah. It's disgusting. How many coppers have convicted a person by lying?
Back in day, yeah.
Yeah. What's that? But he won't fat. He's never been fat. You'll never see a fat smackhead.
That's what I said. I don't really thought it was funny, but
no, you will never see a fat smackhead.
No, she's right. No fan of fat smackhead.
Never.
I really thought it was funny, but I was just chatting.
No, it just tickled me the way you said it.
No, it's true. You will never see a fat smackhead.
I mean, you know, if it was okay, fine. You know, the monkeys go with pot. I could give you that, but no, not.
I know we have funny saying that, but yeah, you'll never see a fat smackhead because they're always on the drugs. It's constant injection.
Not even eat.
No, they don't.
True.
Yeah, you never find
that jury as well, though. Fucking hell. I mean, it's just funny.
Yeah.
Possibly he did remember that. But we're only going on what we're told that he actually said.
Yeah.
He might not have even said that.
Yeah, he said.
Well, let's be honest. The police had to halt to get a conviction back then. It wouldn't surprise me if they fucking smacked him up with heroin.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you say that.
I don't know if I do it now, but back then you used to make a do called turkey as well. Right. And sit there with a bag of smack in front of them going, if you want this, you better tell us, or you better get on with it. They used to bribe them with smack. If they used to get a smackhead or a crackhead or whatever, or were hooked on drugs, they used to sit there with a bag in their hand and go, do you want this? Because we can make it easy for you. You know, if you admit the truth, we'll give you it. And they have been known to do that. I mean, he remembers the fight and the burn club. The fight might have been from a while ago.
Yeah, they couldn't exactly say it with that day. We're over a year later that they all brought this up. So
yeah,
you know what I mean, it's not like it were there. They rang up day after and said it about Michael Stone. It would only have to cry.
Yeah, when these burnt claws, this fight and these burnt claws were about.
Exactly. No.
There's just too many
could be completely different to the case itself, and he's just said it.
I mean, if I were a judge and he came in front of me and I'd actually turn and said, the conviction is not strong enough to stand, and I think it's either a retrial or you squash it. The choice is yours. Mm-hmm. If there's no evidence to prove that he's done it, and there's nothing there to say he was actually there at that point in time, then why have you brought this to it?
At
In fact,
the very bare minimum, it needs to be retried again. It does,
Yeah,
at the
it does,
bare
yeah.
minimum. At the bare minimum, because that is not beyond reasonable doubt. And ironically enough, that bloke who gave the evidence turned out to be a murderer anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it stinks. And it stinks bad as well. That's what I said to you. It were thin. I did say that. It were thin what they were convicted of.
Well, see, I watched a documentary about this. It was I think it was a three programmer, and they went into things, and I watched that and I listened to that, and I was thinking, but if there's no evidence, why are you convicting a man that's innocent of doing fuck all? You know, you convict him for things that are not true, and you've proven it's not true, but yet you still convict him. What kind of justice is that to a guy that's been convicted of murders and attempted murder? That's something he didn't fucking do. I don't get it. And people wonder why they don't report things to police or go ahead with things, because they twist it. I mean, it's quite scary. Yeah, exactly. Why kill the kids and the dog? I don't understand that. I mean, well, one kid, because the other one survived. She hasn't got no recollections of it because her brain's damaged. And, you know, bless her, you know, I take me off to her dad. You know, exactly, there's more to this than meets the eye. And I will stand by he's an innocent man.
Yeah, they did. The husband had a rock solid alibi. Josie working.
Rock solid alibi.
His alibi was rock solid because that's the first person they suspected, and he was working.
Yeah, but they actually got on, even though they were divorced. They got on. They still had a good relationship.
No, they were together. No, they were married.
No, still together.
No, they're separated, aren't they?
No,
they were married. No.
Oh, I thought they were separated.
No, still together.
They really got on.
Right, the usual routine. What, as far as he was aware, when they left that morning to go to work, the girls were going to go to a swimming gala and then come home, and then the girls have brownies, I think it was. So when he came home, and I think he started making some food or something, when they came back at the usual time, he just thought they were just caught up at brownies having a chat and stuff, like, you know, they were playing catch at brownies or something. And when it passed and there wasn't back, that's what he rang the neighbour. He rang the neighbour who normally the kids went to the same swimming gala, and they actually interviewed the woman, the little girl, and they turned around and said that they offered the mum and the two girls a lift back, and they didn't hear anything because they were beeping the horn and stuff, and they were just too busy talking. So they just drove home, and the Russells walked back up the route they always took to get home.
See, that's what I found. They was walking the route they always walked, so somebody even knew they did that walk on a daily basis or quite often. Do you know what I mean? So somebody must have known where.
You know where that was an opportunist.
They'd been watched. No, because where they were found, the lane was like that long, and they was here off a little snicket part. So for me, that means they must have been watched, because that thing he watched that lass. He watched her many times walking to and from school before he kidnapped her and did her in. That Millie Dowler, he watched her for a while before he grabbed her, because the car was seen following her a few times. Was it a green car he had or something?
No, red.
But red?
Yeah, red at that time, and he did that to Millie Dowler, yeah.
It's just I don't understand why people do that.
Big up James, man.
Oh, James.
All we can say is for sure is it was very circumstantial what they did to convict him on, and so not beyond reasonable doubt, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they've got the wrong person anyway. I don't think he was guilty. Too many inconsistencies with everything, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
I agree. So, what are you doing next week then, Stace? Tell everybody what we're doing next week.
I am doing Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer.
So that's next week's homework for your peeps. Green River Killer.
Yeah.
Now,
that is an interesting one, because he was married 3 times.
And none at wives, no?
Nope.
Oh, God.
Stacey, send me
He
that
was
on the
married.
text. I can have a look at that because I don't know if I know that one.
He was
I don't
married.
know too much.
His third marriage. She believed he didn't do it up until the point she heard him confess. And that was
Right.
it. She automatically divorced him. And she lives with the guilt.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely have to learn about them.
It's a you ought to kill prostitutes though.
Yeah, but still somebody in it then. I mean, what?
Yeah. No, I didn't go like into homes and stuff like that. So that's why I managed to get away with it for so long because it only went for prostitutes.
Well, that was that guy that did it over here, didn't he? He dumped him in fucking.
Oh, the crossbow cannibal. The crossbow cannibal.
The 5 prostitutes. Was it 5 prostitutes or 6?
Yeah, the
5.
crossbow cannibal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
cannibal.
dumped him in fucking water.
Oh no,
face down.
crossbow killer. Well, that was it. Was it
I can't remember his name.
Skipton?
Eh?
Was it Skipton? Did it in?
Yeah, Skipton.
Yeah, Skipton.
Yeah. Right, kids,
No.
I'm going to wrap this one up. We'll be back live tomorrow with the football. I hope everybody enjoyed this stream. It's been a good debate, if nothing else. Bless up to everybody. It's been a long day, but football away. That was a good stream, that to be fair. It makes you think. If nothing else, it does make you think. But on that note, it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from her.
Good night from me.
It's a good day for my glass. Glass of all
1 minute. Joel, it's some gash football tomorrow. It's something like League 2 football. And next week's it's Green with a killer. Football tomorrow. I don't know, Saneem. I don't know, mate. I don't know. But it's Green with a killer next week and the football tomorrow. I don't know, Saneem. Maybe back, don't worry. Big up Paige. Big up Drula. Take care of yourselves, peeps. We will be back tomorrow. Good night. God bless. Take care of yourselves. And we'll be back tomorrow. Peace.
Leads united, dancing bright, spend our army up all night, laughing, sharing, having fun. The beat goes on, we just begun. Like and share, let's all unite. Tottenham crew, feeling right. Goodbye from me, from her, from us. The party's here, no need to rush. Army strong, the baseline drops. Spin around, the fun won't stop. Laughs and cheers, a groove we